Welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into Michael Chapman's 50 Positive Habits to Transform Your Life. The idea here is it's meant to be a really quick, actionable kind of checklist for growth.
Exactly. Think of it less like deep theory and more like a functional roadmap for anyone needing that sort of step-by-step jumpstart.
Okay, let's unpack that. 50 habits. That's a lot. It strikes me immediately, that sheer volume.
It is a lot.
Oh.
And it covers, well, pretty much everything: physical, mental, emotional, lifestyle stuff.
Right, that breadth is interesting. He puts very small things, like parking farther away.
Yeah, just to get more steps in.
Right next to these, deeper cognitive things like regularly visualizing success. Why put those side by side like that, as if they're equally weighted?
Well, what's interesting is how he roots it all in his own experience. It's not based on, say, big clinical studies. He gives these quite relatable examples from his life showing you, look, this worked for me. Here's how.
Okay, so it feels more achievable that way, less abstract.
I think so. It makes it a strong sort of starter guide. It feels grounded, practical.
But doesn't that make it, well, anecdotal? If it's all just his journey, how does he convince someone who's maybe a bit skeptical?
That's a fair question. I think he bypasses that by focusing hard on consistency over complexity. It's about actually doing the things. Like, he really insists on things like strength training, daily walking, basic stuff, right?
Sure, non-negotiable physical habit.
Exactly. And he argues these build the foundation, the energy you need to even tackle the mental stuff.
Okay, let's talk about that mental stuff. The mindset habits he lists. Things like challenging your assumptions, thinking before reacting, but also deliberately celebrating small wins. Why that specific one? Celebrating.
Ah, that connects right into reinforcement, Psychology 101 almost. It's about training your brain, that dopamine loop, to reward the doing of the habit, not just waiting for some huge final outcome.
So celebrating the tiny victory makes the next step easier, more automatic.
Precisely. It builds momentum, keeps motivation going.
That makes sense. And it seems linked to what he says about emotional health, too, like learning to let go.
Yes, letting go of stuff, not just physical clutter, but emotional baggage, too.
Yeah.
Resentments, negative thought patterns.
Which we all carry around to some extent.
Right. And if you think about the bigger picture, holding on to all that negativity, it just eats up mental energy, doesn't it?
Yeah, cognitive bandwidth.
Which raises a key question, really. How do you make space for new habits if your mind is cluttered with the old stuff?
And his answer seems to be simplification.
Exactly. Reduce the clutter, cut out tasks that aren't essential.
Free up that energy. He seems to be saying you can't really set meaningful goals if you're bogged down by, well, mess, physical or emotional.
That foundation needs to be clear. Now, we should probably add a bit of context here, critique even.
Okay.
If you're someone who's already read, say, James Clear or Charles Duhigg, the big names in habit formation, Chapman's book might feel a bit superficial. It doesn't have that deep dive into the science, the neurobiology.
Right. It prioritizes breadth over that kind of scientific depth.
It does.
But you could argue that's its strength, perhaps, for someone maybe overwhelmed by the science.
Absolutely. Its power is in its immediacy. It's a catalyst. It pushes you from just thinking about change to actually doing something.
Across that whole spectrum of life areas, a starting point.
Yeah, a really accessible one. The core takeaway for you, the listener, is probably that transformation doesn't always need dense theory. Sometimes it just needs consistent small actions. Across the board, this book is like, well, the prompt for that commitment.
A perfect way to put it. Chapman provides the action plan. You just have to, well, act. Okay, so here's a final thought for you to maybe explore this week, tying into that idea of letting go. If you had to pick just one piece of emotional baggage, just one thing you're holding on to let go of this week, which one would free up the most energy for you right now? Something to think about. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.